Alright, good morning, guys. Trying to stand you up straight so you can see me. Alright, cool. Good morning. So this video, I'm responding to a comment on another video, that I commented on. And it was a comment of what he said to me. So, alright, so this is how it started. Well, I'm not going to go all the way back to the beginning, but I'm going to go back to his last comment. So we were talking about the Iliad of Homer, and he was basically asking why I don't follow that and why I would follow the Bible. Now I told him to stop being condescending, so I'm going to read what he wrote. And honestly, the people who will not be condescending towards me watching this video, I need you to be honest with yourself. And then the believers who watch this video, you'll see too. Tell me if this is condescending or not. So he said, when I said I don't follow the Iliad, he wrote, "And why don't you follow the Iliad? I mean, it's about gods, and science can prove the war for Troy actually did happen." In parentheses, so the stuff about Greek gods and their miracles must be true too. Close parentheses. So it may be exactly as true as the Bible. So it may be exactly as true as the Bible, right? Oh wait, it's not, because it ain't the Bible. Very convincing argument. Then he wrote, "I'm talking about the birth of Jesus, for example. Stories very similar to that one have been around before Jesus was born, according to the Bible, for example." Scratch that last part, but I mean, to be honest, doesn't the first part sound very condescending? It is. I mean, first of all, you're making an assumption. Second of all, the miracles statement, that's condescending right there. Like, the whole thing was just very condescending. It's something that I tried to dismiss in my channel. Like, let's not be condescending. Let's actually speak to each other intelligently, like grown-ups. So I asked him, my question was, I said, so we can continue this, are you going to keep being condescending in your arguments and assume what I'm going to say, or are you going to ask me honest questions without winking? Because he put like a little wink there. His response was, "Oh, you're very free to give different answers, but I got the feeling you prefer to distract from the questions, and that strategy ain't going to work with me." Stop being condescending. I don't distract from questions. I'll answer your questions, but don't be condescending asking me. That's just being rude. Let's not be rude and ask people questions. We don't have to agree and be rude to each other. So let's not do that. But I'll address it. I don't understand what I'm actually. I don't understand how to answer this question, because I don't know if it's really a question. His only question was, "And why don't you follow the Iliad?" The reason why I don't follow it is because it has nothing to do with my salvation, where I'm going to after I die. And that's what I want to know. Do I have to go to hell, or do I have to go to heaven after I die? The Iliad doesn't tell me where I'm going. Or the Iliad doesn't tell me where I'm going after I die. So yeah, that's why I don't follow it. Now I guess I'll address what he said. It's not really answering the question, but so he goes, "I mean, it's about God." So to address that statement real quick, Gods doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to have more than one God. You can't have more than one supreme being, just like you can't have more than one best friend. One of your friends is the best one. You can't have two bests. You can't have more than one God. You have one eternal being. If there's another being, he's either not eternal or there's something that he's not that the first one is. So if he's less than the first one, he's not supreme. So you can't have gods. You can only have one ultimate supreme being who is a creator of everything. Let's say you just had two gods. By definition, a god is a supreme being. If you're a supreme being, you're supreme over everything. You're sovereign. You created everything. How can you have two gods who created everything? Who created the first one? Who created the second one? It goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth infinitely. You can only have one God. So first of all, the concept of gods does not make sense. There can only be one, which I had somebody ask me, said, why not Hindu? There you go. The first reason is because you can't have you can't have multiple gods, especially 300 million of them. Then he said, and science can prove the war for Troy actually did happen. That's fine. So the stuff about Greek gods and their miracles must be true too. No. That doesn't make sense. That's not what makes the miracles true in the Bible, is because there's historical events that were true. No, that's a bad point. So it may be exactly as true as the Bible, right? No. Oh wait, it's not, because it ain't the Bible. Very convincing argument. Condescending. Don't do that. The Bible, I don't believe in the Bible because it had just true events. That's not the only reason. I have multiple reasons. Jesus Christ was a real human being. Jesus Christ really did resurrect from the dead. That's amazing. Jesus Christ had a sinless life and he resurrected from the dead. Then he said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. The only way to the Father is through me. Well, you did all of these other supernatural things, and I do believe there's a God, and that God being the Father. So I think I'm going to believe a guy who rose from the dead and never, ever, ever sinned in his life. I think I follow a guy who does that. Nobody else can make that claim with proof. That's why I follow Jesus. That's why I follow the Bible, is because Jesus claimed to be God. So Jesus was still in the Old Testament, and Jesus affirmed the Old Testament. So I believe everything in the Bible because Jesus believes everything in the Bible. 2, prophecies. I've never heard anybody address those prophecies, by the way, ever. For the people who will say Jesus Christ is not real, we'll address it and say, well, Jesus Christ is not real. But then you talk to any real historian, any true historian, then they'll say he was a real human being, and he was crucified on the cross. So the prophecy in which I'm talking to, one of the great prophecies, was when Isaiah prophesied and told us exactly how Jesus Christ would die, and told us exactly how long he would be dead. Thousands of years before it happened. Now, I know somebody's going to bring it up. So before you bring up Nostradamus, I don't care about Nostradamus. He made very vague predictions. Isaiah did not make a vague prediction. He made an exact prediction. Among plenty other predictions I can put in the description section. So 2, prophecies. 3, just things that, how would writers of the Bible have known? How would Job have known that the earth was round? He's not an astrologist. Job was just a very wealthy man. How did he know the earth was round? Okay. How did Moses know when he wrote the Torah, when he wrote about the beginning, how did he know what the earth looked like when it was being created? So there's all these things that people could not have known. What are other things that prove the Bible to be true? The biggest thing for me is the prophecies, and of course Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ being number 1, prophecies being number 2. And for all the people who say, all the atheists that say they have read the Bible, I mean, well then answer me that about the prophecies then. I never hear anybody read about the prophecies. So no, just history is not the only thing that makes you want to read the Bible. So no, so like I said, don't be condescending and saying, oh, convincing argument, right? No, you made up your own argument that you thought I would argue. That's not what I would argue. Matter of fact, I still have a lot more, but I don't want to make this video super long. But it has nothing to do with the fact that, oh, there's history, so it must be true. No. Stop being condescending. And like I said, I don't distract from questions. Your only question is, why don't I follow the Iliad? The reason why is because it has nothing to do with my eternal life. It doesn't tell me where I'm going after I die. and or how to get there. So since it doesn't, why would I need to follow it? I said in one video to some other person who I was responding to, and he said, why Christianity among other religions? Other religions, you know, they have all their beliefs. Sure, you can have your belief, but there's a difference between belief and truth. And second, Christianity is not just, I believe in a guy named Jesus. Christianity is you're following history and what happened in history and what this guy, Jesus, said in history and what he claimed in history and what he did in history. That's a very reliable person to follow. All of us want somebody to follow. If you don't believe it's true, and you're not being honest with yourself, all of us follow somebody. I would follow somebody who lived a perfect life, rose from the dead, claims to be God, and has done things only a supernatural being could possibly do. Like turn water to wine and raise out of a tomb and walk on the water. So that's why I follow Jesus and not the Iliad. I really wish you wouldn't do it. I really wish we could have a good conversation, but I have a feeling you're still going to be very condescending in your questions. That's just something I knew coming into it. Like, you know, this is what preaching the gospel and apologetics does. It makes people don't like what we have to say. That's fine. But say it. I'll still answer your questions. That's fine. You can talk about me over a computer. That's fine. I'll still answer your questions. Okay? And anybody else you have questions, you know, just put them in the comment section. Let me know what you have. Talk to you guys soon. God bless.